destroyed. I mean, it was one of those things where I would think to myself, oh man, if he's acting, he's doing a really good job. But I looked at him like, oh wow, he might have actually been knocked out completely. It was a bit of a scary moment, but thankfully we saw his eyes kind of, move around. So thankfully he was able to give us some kind of indication that he was alive. His mouth was able to move. So he definitely did get pretty much demolished by Sadis, and that is one of the scariest things. I've taken chops to the chest. I think that the one thing that could be scarier than that would be taking a spear from Sadist at this point. But yeah, it was a good matchup, and Sadist is locked for a number one contendership match. The number one contender, I should say, for the ACW Heavyweight Championship on June 2nd. Who will be his opponent? We're going to get to that in just a minute because we have one more matchup to get here. That being Colin Brooks, Young Money, taking on the ACW Watercity champion, Pornstache Peter Schwanz. This was a good matchup. I mean, for those of you that saw WPW not Boiling Point. Was it Boiling Point? Yeah, it was Boiling Point. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I blacked out about that. You knew the kind of heart and resiliency that Colin Brooks had against Adam Grace. 2 matches. He did an amazing job, and this was no different. He and Pornstache just tore the house down. We saw just a great amount of resiliency by Young Money. We saw just so much great heelish tactics by Pornstache. This was just an awesome matchup. Young Money kicked out of the Frog Splash, and we saw Pornstache kicking out of the GTS as well as the Stunner. But the ending happened with a great heel tactic by Pornstache, rolling him up, grabbing the tights for the 1-2-3 unbeknownst to the referee. Again, just flat out amazing. Pornstache retains, and after the matchup, Young Money, Colin Brooks definitely shows a lot of anger and a lot of frustration. But at the same time, I think to myself, you know what, dude? There's going to come another day where you're going to be champion. Tonight wasn't your night. And honestly, like I've said, with all the matches I've seen of Young Money Colin Brooks, he's definitely turning out to be one of my favorite wrestlers in Wisconsin right now. He is definitely just very talented. If you ever see a card and you see Young Money Colin Brooks in there, definitely pay attention to that match, because that is going to be a match of the night, show-stopping, just great, a phenomenal matchup that you will definitely remember. So the main event was the ACW Heavyweight Championship. Joey Jet Avalon taking on Mr. Ken Anderson. It starts off like any way that you would expect a Ken Anderson deal to do. Fortunately, he did not have his microphone that just levitates down from the ceiling, so he basically had to use the ring announcer, and then Avalon got involved, and it just had this nice little comedic battle where they're screaming at each other saying, Anderson, Avalon, Anderson, Avalon, Anderson, Avalon, until finally Joey Jet Avalon just ruined the fun and just punches and wails away on Ken Anderson. Just, of course, being a heel like he is, and he does a really good job at that. It was, again, a great matchup between the two, back and forth, great stuff. We see a championship title shot on Ken Anderson for only a 2 count. Joey Avalon was going to go for the package pile driver, unless he calls it like the Avalon driver, or maybe the crash landing, paying homage to Crash Holly, God rest the man's soul. Maybe the jet drop, something like that, whatever. But in the end, Ken Anderson counters, hits the mic check, 1, 2, 3. Not 2 mic checks, 1 mic check for the 1, 2, 3, which, oh man, that just shocked me. It shocked everybody. Everybody just went crazy. And if you check out Elite Ringside Network's videos, you'll definitely see the kind of reaction that they had for Ken Anderson winning that championship. It was an awesome, awesome moment. Ken Anderson is celebrating. Next thing you know, here comes Sadis. He's about ready to set up for the spear, but then he just jokingly stops, and Ken Anderson kind of gets a little spooked. But then Vicky Guerrero announces that it would be Ken Anderson versus Sadist for the ACW Heavyweight Championship on June 2nd. Oh, man, it just could not get any better than that. Sadist basically said, he was one of the foundations, one of the great guys. Will you come back for June 2nd? And, of course, Anderson's just like, we never talked about that. Oh, wait, yes, we did. And he basically guarantees that he's going to come back and he's going to fight Sadist for the ACW Heavyweight title. Whoo, doggy, that's going to be oh man, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it again. It was a great feel-good moment. So, of course, that matchup is indeed going to happen. It is indeed going to be Sadist versus the ACW champion, Mr. Anderson, one-on-one. That match is going to be huge. And in addition to that, you guys, they actually have 2 more matches that they just announced there for the ACW show on June 2nd. First one being Mike Morris will go one-on-one against Peter Schwanz for the ACW Watercity Championship. Oh man, that's going to be insane. Another matchup that's going to happen is going to be the A-lister Justin Dredd taking on gorgeous Jordy Lee. Man, that's going to be another great matchup. It's going to just be a very, very, very interesting deal. And I should actually probably say that, Justin Dredd was the reason why Jordy Lee was not able to pick up the win in the $5,000 Battle Royal. But something, it's going to still be a great matchup to say the least. This is going to be very interesting because So I actually want to kind of read through what it says right here. They already went through some of the announcements of what the matches are going to be. Here we go for this one. And finally, a huge tag team matchup that has already changed once this week. Following the shenanigans at Watercity WrestleCon, it was decided by ACW management that the real Brock Hall, Logan Lynch, and Raging Nathan Gust would team up once again to take on Swoggle, Nick Colucci, and TW3 on Friday, June 2nd in a 6-man tag team matchup. Then, unfortunately, earlier this week, steaming from the hellacious WLC match last week, Gust received word that he would be undergoing surgery on May 5th on his right shoulder, which was coincidentally damaged in a match last April against TW3. The 6-man tag team match has been put on hold and replaced by this, and that being Nick Colucci and Swoggle taking on the team of the real Brock Hall and Logan Lynch. So right now, until Nathan Gust is, fully 100% able, God bless you, man. Raging Nathan Gust is such an amazing guy, and honestly, I am hoping that it's not going to be a serious surgery, but we will have to wait and see right now. That tag team match is still going to be awesome. I think Brock Hall and Lynch are just really good together, and it's going to be interesting to see how the tag team pairing of Colucci and Swoggle are going to do on June 2nd. And of course, guys, the main event being the ACW Championship matchup, Mr. Anderson taking on Sadist. It is going to be a knockdown, drag-about brawl between the two of them. I just see good things happening. ACW is on the right track, and they are just on fire right now. It is going to be a very good matchup. So that is all for what I have for this edition of What Did I Just Watch? Final thoughts on the event, ACW Watercity WrestleCon. This was a very, very good show. One of the best that I've seen in a while. I was definitely trying to, hold off some of my energy for the matches that later on happened. I did enjoy a couple of the matches, even matches that I didn't even know too much about, like the Dream Police versus the Brothers of Funstruction. I thought that was actually a pretty good matchup. I think the back-to-back disqualification deal kind of put a damper on some of the momentum, but at the same time, that WLC matchup was just amazing. I can't think of anything else that could have made up for those two, finishes more than that matchup. The match between Johnny Smash and Carlito was good. The ACW Watercity Championship match was just amazing. The basic monstrous brawl between Kevin Thorne and Sadis was just brutal. It was physical. It was amazing. And of course the main event, Joey Jet Avalon and Ken Anderson, they tore the house down. They really knew how to make the fans just really love wrestling again. And this was a great show. So all in all, you guys, I guess I'll give it a star rating. I would definitely give this a 4.9 stars. This was a very, very good show. Probably the highest rating that I've given some 5 stars. So as far as wrestling shows, this is actually the highest I've given. This was a very good show. I loved it, and a lot of fans really enjoyed it as well. Got to meet some new people, which is always fun. Got to see some new wrestlers. Got to also, take a picture with Carlito and Mr. Anderson. So all in all, I can honestly say it was just a memorable night, and I loved it. It's just another one of those things that's going in the win column. So thank you guys so much for joining me here for another edition of What Did I Just Watch? Be sure to tune in later. I do believe that Smart Money Podcast is going to be doing their predictions very soon. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. Of course, like I said, I gave my predictions for fun. Max B has already given his predictions. Spencer Hart will probably give his predictions later on today, too. I'll have to wait and see. And, of course, guys, tomorrow will be Payback. It is going to be a very interesting night, to say the least. It'll probably almost have like a WrestleMania feel, because there's some matches you're just like, about. But then there's other matches where it's just like, I want to see how this goes. I want to see this matchup. I think it's going to be awesome. So, with that being said, I am Nate the Effing Great. You can always follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/ER Network 24/7, which is also our Twitter handle. How convenient. You can follow me on Twitter at Nate Effing Great. And of course, you guys, be sure to enjoy wrestling, because especially with the independent scene, #support indie wrestling. Those are where the guys are laying their foundations. This is where their early stomping grounds. Definitely go out and check out some of these independent shows, especially in Wisconsin, because these guys, oh boy howdy, are they just really finding a way to make every single show better and better and better every single month, every single week. It doesn't matter. It's just getting better and better as time goes on. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you more tomorrow during WWE Payback. So for the Elite Ringside Network, I am Nate the Effing Great, signing off.